Hi everyone! For today's video, we'll be talking about the intermolecular and its uses of everyday life. So without further ado, let's start.
In physics, chemistry, biology, intermolecular forces are forces that act between stable molecules or between action groups of micromolecules.
These forces are generally much weaker than the chemical bonding forces. The bonding energies are less than a few kilocalories a mole, but they are responsible for many different physical, chemical, and biological phenomena. In general, one distinguishes short and long-range intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces are listed in order of decreasing strength. These forces are ionic, interactions, hydrogen bonds, dipole-dipole interactions, and lastly, London dispersion forces. We will discuss this one by one.
The first type is ionic interaction. These are the interactions that occur between charged substances. Like charges will have a repulsive force, while opposite charges will have an attractive force.
The second type is hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding can be formed when a hydrogen atom is bound to a highly electronegative atom such as nitrogen, oxygen, or fluorine. The hydrogen atom has a partial positive charge and can interact with another electronegative atom found in a different molecule. This results in a stabilizing interaction that loosely binds the two molecules together. A common example is water.
The third type is dipole-dipole interactions. Dipole-dipole interactions are the forces that occur between two molecules with permanent dipoles. These work in similar manner to ionic interactions, but are weaker because of only partial charges are involved. An example of this can be seen in hydrochloric acid.
The fourth and last type is the London dispersion forces. These involve the attraction between temporally induced dipoles in nonpolar molecules. This polarization can be induced either by polar molecule or by the repulsion of negatively charged electron clouds in nonpolar molecules. One good example of this is chlorine dissolving in water. With that being said, let us now discuss the application of intermolecular forces in daily life. Intermolecular forces are really important in our day-to-day living. Without them, all matter would exist in a gaseous state and life as we know it would not be possible. So here are the examples of intermolecular forces in daily life. DNA is present in our bodies carries the genetic information that makes us who we are. With a 2 nucleic acid chains in the shape of helix, the nucleic chains are held together by hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonding also exists within proteins found in our bodies. They are formed between N to H and C equals to O groups in the polypeptide strands that make up proteins. In plants, water molecules hydrogen bond not only to each other, but also to the cellulose chain which makes up the wall of plant cells. This creates a sort of capillary tube which allows for capillary action to occur since the vessel is relatively small. This mechanism allows plants to pull water up into their roots. If you stretch a plastic grocery bag, the length increases and the width decreases. This breaks apart the London dispersion forces and straighten out the polyethylene chains. The covalent bonds remain intact until the plastic rips. And that concludes our discussion on intermolecular forces. Thank you for listening. And that concludes our discussion on intermolecular forces. Thank you for listening. And that concludes our discussion on